Ghana is known in West Africa as a nation with a rich tradition and culture, cultivated with such beauty by her regions. One of her regions harbors a great food culture with an interesting history. We take you on a journey to witness this great food culture perfected by the people of Yamoransa in the central region of Ghana. Sitting calmly on a hill along the beautiful Ghanaian coastline and overlooking the main road between Accra and Cape Coast, Yamoransa boasts of a population of approximately 4,700 people. Its economy consists mostly of small-scale ventures with a large focus on an ancient delicacy, affectionately called Fante Kenkey. This delicacy is a staple and a tradition.
Yamoransa, we are from Yamoransa, which is known today as the Chiman. We walked from Yamoransa and came to settle here in Yamoransa. But before here, we first settled at Kudazi. Yamoransa is part of Nkusukum. Yamoransa is the capital town of Nkusukum, a district within the region. Where we are now is the Nkusukum's House of Chiefs. All the chiefs in Nkusukum are under Yamoransa. There are 22 active towns in Nkusukum. Adding the nominal ones makes it 26.
We discovered that the Fante Kenkey served a great importance during the ECOMOG intervention activity which happened in Liberia in 1990.
When the ECOMOG activity came, I joined to help in the production of the Kenkey. The Kenkey was marketed at the junction previously known as Achifun Kwanta, but today referred to as Old Yamoransa, where cars going to Kumasi, those coming from Accra to Takoradi, and so on, buy the Kenkey along. But there came a time when the Fante Kenkey was purchased in bulk and sent to feed soldiers in Liberia during the ECOMOG activity, one of the reasons being its ability to last for a longer time. This contributed to its glory.
When it comes to the preparation of this great delicacy, there's been a shift with the passage of time. We were taken down the road of history on the ancient preparation of this food.
I grew up to see my grandmother preparing Fante Kenkey. In those days, there was no corn mill machine, so we used stones. In preparing the Fante Kenkey, we soak the corn in water for 3 days. After, the corn is broken into fine pieces using the stone. At dawn, the broken pieces of corn is grinded to smoothness. The flour is mixed with butter, which results in a corn dough. This dough is then divided into 2 portions. One portion is cooked and later mixed with the uncooked dough. After, the mixed dough is wrapped in dry plantain leaves and a special kind of leaf known as osofo. This is then recooked.
Having learned about the ancient processes involved in making this delicacy, we are now being introduced to the modern steps involved.
Back in the day, there was no corn milling machine, so they produced on a small scale. But God willing, today, we have the corn milling machine. The corn is soaked for 3 days, after which the corn is sent to the corn milling center to be grinded. In the process of grinding, water is added to the flour to turn it into corn dough. The dough is then covered for a day. This is done to enable the yeast to rise. What we do next is gather the dry plantain leaves and the green leaves called osofo. These leaves are washed and arranged, awaiting packaging. After the yeast has risen, we now commence the cooking of the dough. All the corn dough are not cooked at a go, but rather it is divided into 2 unequal parts. one of which is cooked and later mixed with the uncooked dough. At this stage, packaging is done using the washed arranged plantain leaves and osopho leaves. The packaged Fante Kenkey is then arranged in a long cylindrical drum. A little water is added to it. The packaged Kenkey is well covered to prevent heat from escaping. Fire is then set under it and left to cook overnight.
At dawn, the cooked delicacy is unraveled, tested, and then packaged for distribution. The people of Yamoransa, whose survival depends on the preservation of this food heritage, are lamenting on the harsh conditions under which they market and sell this delicacy.
We don't have anyone to help. When it rains or shines, we are under it. Imagine sitting under the sun for long hours. We come here as early as 6 a.m. and leave at 6 p.m. So we need the help of anyone who can help build a market structure for us to sell in.
Do you have fear of being run over by a passing car?
Yes, we have the fear of that because we are not well positioned at a safe place. So if the helper can help move us away from the roadside into a market structure somewhere behind us, we will be well pleased.
How do you identify Yamoransa's Fante Kenkey? What is so peculiar about this food heritage?
Yamoransa do kono yamo shop na ko mi obi o ma embolo mo ni Yamoransa do ko ma embolo mo na o ti so mo so chan nti se bia na obi ko ma do ko o se pe ko o dabi yo Yamoransa do ko because o ye puse Yamoransa do ko so chan ti no bia ko be bi o se Yamoransa do ko no Yamoransa do ko so ko no ye titade ti no so chan.
It's been a long journey. It's time to dine and enjoy this great food heritage. Ghana is such a blessed nation with great traditions. So rich, it is a mandate that we strive to preserve and sustain them. Yamoransa is one of Ghana's towns where there is a strive to preserve and continue in their food heritage. This art of zealousness is a sign of hope for Ghana's food culture. Yamoransa's Fante Kenkey, a divine heritage.